Python arithmetic operators are similar to those used in mathematics, except some special operators, as we see here in the table of the built-in operators and functions of Python. Let's go through this list or this table one by one quickly. So if we perform the addition, simply integer addition or float addition, subtraction also similar. And as you see, the result usually is similar to the types used in the operation, except you should notice if they are mixed, like for example 4 minus 3.5, the result will be float in order to keep the decimal part in the result. Also, we notice that the same thing goes with the multiplication, which is the, again, if we use float, it will be a float. Also for complex, for example, if you use complex numbers, 3 minus 5j. We have three types of division in Python. The first one called real division or float division. That means even if the two operands are integers, so the result is always float. That means, for example, even if the value is divisible, fully divisible, for example, 6 by 3. So as you see, always the result is float. For that reason, it is called real or float division. The second type is the floor or integer division, which returns the integer part of the division. For example, if we divide 6 by 4, it yields only the integer part. It doesn't round up, so we have to be careful. That's why it's also called the floor division. That means it always truncates or takes out the whole decimal part from the calculation and leaves only the integer part. The modulus is the remainder of integer division. That means, for example, if we say 6 modulus 4, so it will give us 2. Also, we have the power or exponentiation. We have an operator, which is the two consecutive asterisks. So we can say, for example, 2 to the power 3. Or we can use the generic Python function power 2, 3, and to get the same result. We notice here also the power has the same behavior. For example, if we say 2.3, so 2 here is float, so the result will be float. For example, if we say 2 and minus 2, for example, although they both are integers, but because the negative power, it returned a float value. The negatives, easy. We can just add minus sign in front of the number, and it is negative. Usually negatives may be used mostly with variables like y equals minus 5. In this way, in order to take a negative value. Now, the function of absolute value, it returns the absolute value of a negative or any quantity. For example, absolute value of y is 5. The value could be integer, could be a float. For example, absolute minus 3.5 again. So the integer float complex, as we saw before, they are just conversion or typecasting functions. For example, integer 3.5 will return the integer part. We can transform float or an integer value to a float simply by entering, and so on, as we saw before. Complex also. So it is just transformation to these types.